I'll stand just like a statue. About to fall.
Hello everybody, welcome back. NintendoLper here, and welcome to the month of October. The month where young kids and teens are supposed to go outside with their friends and get some candy from strangers' houses. But now they have to be 6 feet apart and wearing a mask over their Halloween mask. Today, I wanted to talk about something from my past that I was really into, and that thing is this game series that I'm pretty sure some of us have seen at some point, Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, when I say this, I am not kidding. I was extremely into Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I loved watching a lot of videos on it, people playing the games, or even playing fan games, and listening to those wonderful theories. Now, back on Vine, which, guys, remember, if we reach 400 subscribers, I'll be reacting to my old Vines and showing it to you guys. But anyways, I made a lot of FNAF related Vines back then, and one of them was actually talking about how I got into the series. So I thought, how about I turn that Vine into an actual video and talk about how much of a crazed Five Nights at Freddy's fan I was. So without further ado, let's get into this cringe. Now, to make my life easier, I'm going to break this up by years because I feel like that's going to be the most appropriate way to say it. We're going to start with 2014. So, actually, funny enough, back when I was a Viner, I actually already kind of told this, or not really story, but I pretty much already explained how I found Five Nights at Freddy's. And if future editor me is actually not lazy, or if I want to be generous enough to give you guys a little sneak clip of my old Vines, I could play the clip. Future editor me, you decide that as you're editing this right now.
My FNAF story is I found Markiplier playing it, I watched it, it changed my life. Hashtag blame Markiplier. I don't care.
But yeah, that's pretty much, and it's funny because literally, to my 40 to 50 followers I had on Vine at the time, I wanted to do this cool thing where it's like, oh, I want people to say how they found Five Nights at Freddy's. And I created this hashtag, which by the way, didn't go anywhere. I'm pretty sure my Vine friend, Zombie Slayer 13, I think maybe he did it. I really don't remember, but pretty much the hashtag was called My FNAF Story, and I wanted the people to say, oh, how did you find Five Nights at Freddy's? And literally, I found it because of Markiplier. Like, I literally remember, I think it was when I came home from Maine, and this was during a time where I was really into watching, like, horror game videos or horror game Let's Plays, and I used to watch a lot of Markiplier at the time, and I came over from Maine and I saw he uploaded, oh, the scariest game in years, Five Nights at Freddy's, and I watched it, and I fell in love with the game. I loved the concept, and I really enjoyed it. And it's funny, I think in the video of Markiplier playing it, I think Mark found the game through Yummy Mash. So technically, we should thank Yummy Mash for making FNAF really popular. Well, actually, no. We should thank Yummy Mash for helping Markiplier find the game. I saw Markiplier play it, and after seeing that, I wanted to see more. Like, as he kept uploading parts, I would instantly watch right away. And after seeing Mark play it so much, I decided, you know what? I'm going to look into this game more. I want to see if there's more stuff to it. And this led to me finding smaller content creators, such as, like, at the time, for example, Koryax Kenshin. Now, nowadays, he has, like, 7 million subscribers. He really blew up from playing, like, horror games and everything. And honestly, actually, FNAF was the main thing that actually helped grow his channel. And at the time, he had, like, 1,000 to 10,000 subs. But as he did FNAF and as many people found his content, he grew so big, and honestly, I'm really happy for Corey, and honestly, to this day, he's still one of my favorite YouTubers. But besides that, this is for people who, okay, this is for the people who were into FNAF at the time. You might notice some of these names, or hell, you might still watch some of these content creators now. But these few YouTubers, three that come to mind. Okay, if I say this name wrong, future or me, you know what to do. Pro Class Gamer, Fusion Z Gamer, and Daco Games. Those 3 YouTubers, I found them through Five Nights at Freddy's, and Pro Class Gamer was actually mainly a FNAF YouTuber who debunked, like, theories and talked about, like, new game stuff and talked about leaks. Not leaks, but, like, screenshots from scottgames.com or whatever. Same with Fusion Z Gamer, and same with Daco. They pretty much all did the same thing, and I watched all their content, and as, like, the second game was about to be released, I would watch all their update videos on it, and honestly, those 3, it's, like, thinking about it back then now, it's really insane, and I honestly haven't checked, Daco still uploads to this day, he still makes FNAF content. I haven't really seen I haven't seen Fusion's channel in a while, and Pro Class Gamer, after Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I think he disappeared from the internet, and pretty much, long story short, in 2014, I found a lot of cool content creators through the game, and watching all these people play the game and honestly trying to look into this game more kind of made me grow to love Five Nights at Freddy's, and this is where the start of it began, and 2015 was the downfall of it. So by the end of 2014 into 2015, there was already 2 Five Nights at Freddy's games. There was FNAF 1 and FNAF 2, and I was deep down this rabbit hole. Like literally, I was standing this series, dude. And it's, you know what's also crazy? Now at the time I had Steam, but I wasn't really able to buy much games, so I wanted to play the games. I didn't want to play the demos that were free on IMDb. I wanted to play the actual games. So I went to the lengths of trying to look for a free version of it, and I'm pretty sure I looked up on YouTube how to get Five Nights at Freddy's for free. And I found a video that had a really scuffed link, and I ended up getting both games for free. And I'm sorry, Toshiba laptop, that I'm pretty sure that gave the viruses and stuff. But as 2015 came around, I was literally, as I mentioned earlier, I pretty much was down the rabbit hole that I could not climb out of. And as soon as 2015 started, we were already getting to the hype for, we were starting to get screenshots for the release of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And it's crazy because like Scott, now everyone at the time, because I remember I became friends with Frankie again, and I was always saying to him, oh dude, there's a new Five Nights at Freddy's game. And he's like, oh dude, Scott's milking the series, man. He's rushing the games or whatever. But then we have people like Yandere Dev, who spends on a game for 6 years. Listen, no hate towards Yandere Dev. The game concept's cool, but man, dude, just code. But anyways, back on topic. Pretty much by this point, the game series was starting to get really huge. And I even remember like seeing, like, first let's start off with the fan made. Okay, no, before we get into all the fan made like songs and all this other stuff. So if you guys watch TRP, which by the way, you should guys watch that. It's my podcast. Well, it's a podcast I host with my friends live over at Frankie Tomazzi TV between 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. every Saturday. But anyways, pretty much. So if you've seen the podcast, Frankie likes to bring up from time to time this wonderful, well, we haven't brought it up in a long time because it hasn't really had a chance to be mentioned in a conversation. He's mentioned in a few episodes about this quote unquote fan movie that I wanted to make called The Summer Job, which was going to be a Five Nights at Freddy's movie where pretty much it's just gonna be a FNAF movie pretty much. And I remember 2015 being in school with my friends, sitting at the lunch table discussing how we were gonna do this movie, how we were gonna get the costumes made, which I'm pretty sure if we actually made costumes it would be really scuffed, and how I was gonna go to this one place that I was at for a party. We used it as like a little office area or a little pizzeria. The Summer Job didn't really go anywhere. And actually, fun fact, Frankie has the supposed script to the series. Well, actually not really, because the only script that existed was this little paper that I actually posted a picture of on this little private Facebook group chat I had with all of my friends. It was this supposed script, and it was just mainly a copy and paste of the Phone Guy Night 1 script from the first game that I got from Wikipedia. But that really didn't go anywhere. But there was this other thing that I did, and it was it's really cringy. And this is the main reason why I actually had a GameJolt account, because at the time I was like, you know what? I saw a lot of people making fan games. There was Five Nights at Candy's, which, by the way, it's a really good fan game. There was Five Nights at Mario's, Five Nights at Sonic's. There was all of these, and One Night at Flumpty's. Like, there was all these crazy fan games. I was like, you know what? I can definitely do that. I can model. I can do art. I can do whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a fan game. And I made this page called Five Nights at Big Bob's. Not, by the way, this was way before that meme where it's like, oh, Bob's and Vagine or whatever. The game was going to be about you working at this burger joint. It had animatronics, and you're going to be this guy trying to watch over a place called Big Bob's. And it didn't really go anywhere. I did not know how to model or do anything. So the project literally, I think all of it was just like a one screenshot. If I have a screenshot of the page, I'll probably post it, or maybe I probably did a Vine on it. But again, I don't want to give you guys so many Vine clips already ahead of time, but pretty much I did that as well, and it was just really depressing. And no more about my cringy things that I did. And by the way, the things I'm about to talk about, I wouldn't say they're cringe, but at the time, well, nowadays it would just be like, oh, that was a thing of I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, the next thing I'm going to talk about is like cool things. Like, for example, Five Nights at Freddy's songs, which started to become a lot popular during this time in 2015. Like, for an example, back in the first fan song that comes to mind whenever I think of Five Nights at Freddy's is a song by the Living Tombstone called it's named the Five Nights at Freddy's song. And when I first found it, like literally right now, if I could really recite all the lyrics, but I don't want to make you guys cringe at all. But pretty much the fan songs are starting to become a thing. There was Living Tombstone, who made 2 songs. He made that first song and the wonderful, iconic "It's Been It's been so long since like that meme. You remember that meme, guys? But that was a song at first. It wasn't a meme, and I remember really liking those songs. And pretty much 2015, my music genre, my music taste pretty much became Minecraft parodies and Five Nights at Freddy's songs parodies. And besides Living Tombstone, there was also Mandu Pony, who made the song Just Gold, and there's some other songs that come to mind, but I can't think of the titles now, so maybe I'll put little screenshots of songs that I listened to at the time. But yeah, pretty much there was the fan games, the fan songs, and it was like, and by the middle of 2015, we also got Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which it was just, and I remember the hype for that as well. Like literally, I remember as the screenshots came out on Scott Games, I would save them on my computer in my little Five Nights at Freddy's folder I had, and it was really crazy. And when FNAF 4 came out, I literally watched Markiplier. I watched all of the YouTubers that I watched at the time play the game, and I was literally so neck deep. I was so deep into Five Nights at Freddy's. I was really into it, and I was so into Five Nights at Freddy's, like, I was more into it than I was Nintendo at the time. And by the way, at that time in 2015, my interest in Nintendo went out the roof. Like it was gone completely. I was mostly into Minecraft, and I was slowly starting to get into Call of Duty action around this time. And pretty much I was becoming your typical Zoomer, and it was really bad. But around the time when Five Nights at Freddy's 4 came out, it was starting to come around Halloween, and you know, like normal kids would go out Halloween, go trick-or-treating, get some candy. But you know what I spent my Halloween doing? Instead of going out with my friends that I didn't have at the time, I just sat in my room with my lights off, and I watched actually this cool live streaming event called Five Nights at St. Jude's, and it was hosted by Daco's Games. And I remember sitting in my laptop watching him play all the FNAF games. And by the way, I didn't have a YouTube account, so I couldn't like donate. I couldn't really do anything. Literally, I was just sitting there wasting away watching the stream. But Daco, honestly, it was a good thing he did those streams, because it was for a good cause. But being like, it was just like a normal 11-year-old would go out with their friends trick-or-treating, not be sitting in their room in their dark watching a Five Nights at Freddy's live stream. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened in 2015. And honestly, if I could go back to that year and tell my old self, I would probably be like, dude, I would be like, dude, what are you doing? Now, 2016 was the year where everything started to die down. And I would say by this point, there was many games. There's FNAF 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in this year, Sister Location was going to come out. And like, I was hyped for Sister Location, but like, I didn't have that same level of hype for it as I did for like Five Nights at Freddy's 2 or 3 and 4. Like, and plus my interest level of FNAF in this year was pretty much around the same. It was around that same level of interest I had for Nintendo, like in 2015. And speaking of Nintendo, actually, 2016 was the year where I decided, because this is when I actually started my YouTube channel finally. And I had a little conversation with myself. I was like, you know what, Jason, your main interest at heart is Nintendo. It is not Minecraft. It is not Five Nights at Freddy's. It's none of this Zoomer crap. But in 2016, I was even playing Call of Duty, I'm pretty sure, on my 360 a lot. So I told myself, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get a Wii U. And I saved up my money, my hard-earned money. And if you watch TRP, again, Frankie makes the meme of, oh, you gave your grandmother $70 because of a Wii U. Yes, I had my grandmother help me get a Wii U for next year to have a Nintendo Switch announced. But pretty much I decided I'm going back to my main interest. I'm going back to my core, which is Nintendo. And 2016 pretty much started to become kind of the year where everyone started to not really be that hyped about Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, it was already overdone a lot, and everyone just kind of started to lose interest in it. And even actually, if you go back into my videos from 2016, I actually did make one FNAF game video. It was about this video called, it was not a video, but it was this game called Poopit's Revenge, I'm pretty sure. And it was a meme game made for Five Nights at St. Jude's, because Daco actually did a charity stream that year. And like, pretty much nothing, from what I can recall in 2016, like, that was also the same, like, I wasn't really listening to Five Nights at Freddy's parodies really that much. I was actually starting to get into Green Day around this year. So like, my interest for FNAF was slowly starting to decline, and my interest for Nintendo was starting to get back up more. I was growing up pretty much. Like, I was getting away from being that little kid who was obsessed with Minecraft and Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was actually going back to who I really was, which is someone who liked Nintendo and who was kind of a crackhead. And now we have 2017, and honestly it's now, because in 2017 my interest of Five Nights at Freddy's started to die down a lot. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the only game that came out FNAF related in 2017 was Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator. And I didn't really follow the development of that. And honestly, that game I think came out of nowhere because ever since like Sister Location came out, like Scott went completely silent and and like he came out with Pizzeria Simulator out of nowhere. And honestly, when that came out, I didn't really like. I don't think I downloaded it right away because I wasn't really interested. But like, here's the thing: in 2015, when I got my first Steam card, I bought all the FNAF games and I got rid of the virus versions on my old laptop. I got them because I was at the time I just like, hey, I love FNAF, I want it. But when when the newer games have come out, like Pizzeria Simulator, Ultimate Custom Night, which I'm pretty sure though both of those games are free, but like paid games, like for example, the one that comes to mind is like Help Wanted, for an example. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. Yeah, it's a console VR game and it is really cool, but I don't see myself really buying it or playing it because I wouldn't play it, honestly. Like when Sister Location came out, I'm pretty sure I didn't get that game myself. I'm pretty sure Frankie got me that game, and I didn't I got I think decently far in it, but I've never ended up beating it. And pretty much my interest started to die down in 2017, and that interest finally faded out completely when 2018 came around. And pretty much that was the end of my Five Nights at Freddy's obsession era. And like now, what do I think of Five Nights at Freddy's nowadays or currently? Like, I have a lot of respect for the series, and honestly, I still like the series. Like, Five Nights at Freddy's turned the horror genre upside down in 2014 with its new concept of, watching security cameras till like 6 a.m. And it was really fresh, but then once it was done over and over again, like, yeah, it was done like the first 4 times. It was really cool, and Scott did whatever he could do to make it interesting. But I finally decided to get back to Nintendo in like 2016, and that became my main interest again. And pretty much, like, I still like Five Nights at Freddy's. I still do, but I'm just not like a crazed fan that I used to be. Here's the other thing I want to talk about relating to Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, the community, it's pretty much like, and this happens with every community, like it starts out pretty much being like not toxic or anything. It's like a low-key little nice chill community. Everyone's making fan art, doing all these fan games and songs and everything, and then it turns into this whole cancer fest and little kids happened, and it was just oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. I just realized, dude, all those theory videos like that MatPat did. Like, if MatPat uploaded a FNAF theory, it was pretty much a huge important thing, and it was really insane. But yeah, that is the end of my FNAF obsession, and this series, all I can say is Toy Bonnie. If you watch TRP, you get that reference. This is the end of the video. And this is the end of my first October special because, guys, it's October. It's spooky season, and this is my first Halloween special. My second one is gonna be really cool, and it's really fun. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much the end of this video. And and I'm sorry if I repeated myself or if I didn't really make sense throughout this video. I tried my best because the portions where I talked about like the games and everything, like the only thing scripted about this video was the opening. Like, that's the only thing scripted. Like, this is literally just me talking into a microphone, moving my hands around like a crackhead for like 2 to 3 minutes or 4 to 6 minutes. Anyways, no more stalling, no more being Trainwrecks TV. I've been watching too much Twitch. I'm becoming even more of a degenerate. And if you want to see more videos, please leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.